Hel-
Hello. Oh, wait
Hello,
a minute.
Sia. Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
I slacker, Jeed. I'm addicted to my soundboard, and yet I keep forgetting it when I start off these shows.
I love it. And everyone's already chiming in. Rhonda Deb was the first one here. Carrie is here.
Oh,
Jean is
hello.
here. And it's really early for her. And Yolanda's here.
Oh, from LA? What's up? Oh, I hope everyone you know and you are okay out there in my old homestead. Yeah, man, I did not realize how bad the fires were until like my family was like, "Yeah, dude, it's pretty bad." So, I hope everyone's okay out there. Oh,
Yes. Oh, and Stephen is here and Raquel is here. And everyone, it's all popping in now.
oh my
Hello,
gosh.
Ryan is here. And
Yes.
Janice. Oh my God. Hello, everybody.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yes. All right. So, is it Ramadeb? What a great Ranadeb. I love that name. That's cool. So, okay, girl, how have you been? It's Saturday, and it's been 2 weeks since we've seen each other. How
I
I gotta ask.
know.
I gotta ask. Has anyone given you any feedback from our first episode?
I want to like print it all out and frame it. The feedback, thank you everyone who's even here again, was fabulous. People had fun, and like we thought, it's informative and we're having fun.
It
So
is.
my DMs blew up afterwards, and I've gotten plenty of emails and phone calls too. So it's been great.
I gotta tell you, man. I already knew this, and you are such a kind soul that you cultivate such a great community. So everyone, hello everyone, that I don't know, because I gotta tell you, I was looking at all the RSVPs that like people are attending. I'm like, Leslie's friends, Leslie's friends, Leslie's. I'm like, I have no friends. I have no
You
friends.
do, I
No.
definitely took advantage of those invitations that LinkedIn lets us push out.
Well, let us talk about that because I think it's a good learning lesson for everyone. Okay, so long story short, you guys, you get 1,000 a week of invites that you can send out to people for events, right? Well, I had miscued the original invite. So for those that were trying to go to the other invite, hopefully, Raquel, a huge favor if you could go to the if it says canceled or whatever, could you maybe remind people to go to this new one? Like, I don't think the I think it would say canceled, not deleted. I don't know if it got deleted altogether or not, but whatever, whatever.
Oh, no.
What happens though is I deleted that event because I had to update the time because I didn't, I got the wrong time because time zones are difficult and I lost the invites and we had to start over. But the problem was I had 12 events for my clients this week. So my 1,000 was carved out to like minuscule. And so when this one pooped itself, I lost 300 invites. And I was just like, this sucks. So
So,
let me be a lesson to you. And I think Leslie figured out a good solve, by the way. If you're using Restream or StreamYard, if you're doing it straight from that platform, you can't change on LinkedIn the dates and times or whatever. You can edit like the words and image, but you can't change the time. If you create the event on LinkedIn first and then pair it with StreamYard or Restream, then you have flexibility to move and change in time. So Leslie, that was a great learning lesson. And it's funny because I don't do LinkedIn first because it's like redundant to me. But I
yes,
probably should take it as a practice because I do make mistakes all the fracking time. So mental note, go to LinkedIn first. All the other platforms, by the way, is pretty flexible. LinkedIn, though, is the one
yes,
that's very difficult. So, hey, that was a
yes.
LinkedIn lunatic moment.
Yay. And we're being informative and we're teaching lessons. And of course, we're going to make sure we have plenty of fun today because
Oh,
we have some good posts to share.
okay, girl. Okay, we're going to move along then to our first post, guys. Okay, so everyone, just to preface it, it's all about comments and your feedback because although this is meant to be humorous, it is constructive and sometimes I don't know, man, maybe it's a lesson learned and other times we
Huh?
maybe have to say going a little overboard, guys. Getting a little I
Yep.
don't know, what's that called? Preachy or virtual signaling, like yeah. So here's our
Yes.
first one. Are you ready?
Yay. I'm ready.
Oh, you know what? Hey, wait, I forgot it again. Darn it. Okay, there. Okay, do you want the honors, my friend?
Sure, I'll read it. So this is what the person wrote in their post. I would like to start an accountability group for 2025. Here's how it works. At the beginning of every month, each member submits their list of daily tasks. Example, send 5 follow-up emails to clients or write 1,000 words for my report. Then the daily contribution is each member must contribute $10 per day to a shared pool, so there'd be $300 per month. Missed goals. If a member fails to meet their goal for the day, they forfeit their $10 contribution, which is evenly distributed to the members who completed their goals. Who's in? Let's do it. Comment below or DM. So, Sia, what do you think?
Okay, first thing I thought of, okay, was I'm like, wait a minute, what kind of pyramid scheme action is this? Like, so you're preying on people's lack of ability to execute. And again, it's an accountability group, right? I'm gonna have to say though, I would never participate in a group like this. First off, so there's always gonna be someone that knows how to gamify. Like if you don't write the
Yes.
rules down, someone's gonna gamify this, right? But on the flip side, I do know of people like Leslie, you and I have talked to these types of people, love you all, but they just cannot organize themselves unless they've got real skin in the game. So I'm going to have to
Sure.
say I'm 50-50 on this, Leslie, because some people need this. I don't,
Yeah.
but I do think some people need it. I don't know, man. I,
I don't know.
I don't
Let
know.
me read a few of the comments that people posted on Reddit, not on his post. So
Okay.
one person wrote, has he just reinvented the make me rich pyramid scheme?
Yes. Okay,
Um,
good. Okay.
and that was my first thought, the pyramid scheme. Then what the next person wrote, which planet has he posted from? Because it isn't Earth. And the last one is kind of cute. This person, we're not showing his name, but he had MBA after his name. So someone wrote MBA, Master of BS Articulation.
Nice. Nice. And I'm gonna for those that are commenting, I am gonna highlight, a bit with you here, on some of the comments. So Leslie, you should see some folks what they're thinking in real time here as well. Um,
Yeah.
but I love
Um,
Raquel, I'm a grown woman. No. Sorry.
the part of this that I see is that it I don't know if this person's being serious or a joke or satire, which was
Oh,
some of the comments as well. So I took this as like a lesson that if I want it to be funny, I have to remember how like to communicate that in some way because
yes.
we can't hear how he's saying it. I'm only hearing our voice,
Or
how
she.
we're reading it out loud or
He
she.
he he or she.
Um, so, and I think because it's a LinkedIn networking site, like a business networking, I took it to be serious and just kind of off because I would never be interested in it, but good if someone is. Um, because I think the amount of money is pretty excessive, $300
A
a month
month.
to just have people accountable.
I'm gonna
So
post on LinkedIn today. Yeah, no.
So that's where I just think it's
Oh,
back to like if this was a joke and just being satire and just making fun of something, then let me know. If it's serious, no, thank you. I would just scroll on by. I'm not interested.
oh, you know what? Yolanda has a great point here. Hey, Yolanda, do you have to give up your banking info? I mean, that does kind of sound like that, right? Like, oh my
Yes.
gosh. Yeah. And hey, by the way, Sincera, I'm not opposed to this. $10 a day adds up.
It
You know what?
does.
If you want to send $10 to us, however, Leslie and I will not say no. Everyone, let me
I will not.
clarify. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah. Okay, Melissa, I'm right there with you. $300 a month. Holy crap on crackers.
Yeah.
That's a huge investment because what? 300 times 12 is $3,600 then. So you're paying you're paying $3,600 to say I'm irresponsible to my like whatever, like I don't want to grow
Exactly.
my business. What the heck, people? All
Exactly.
right, so
I
we've
can
got to
do
okay. Charity says silly. All right, okay. So
exactly.
on a scale of 1 to 10,
Oh,
then are we saying this is a 1 being oh hell no, and 10 being okay reasonable? Where are you going with this?
uh,
Reading it
um,
as is.
hell, hell no. Just no. It's not interested.
That's too funny.
And
Yeah,
if it's satire, like I could, again, then it would be a whole different thing. But he needed an emoji or something to get us to realize he's just joking and being sarcastic.
right. And I think you're being generous by saying, "Is this a joke?" Because you're in disbelief and you're being like, "Wait a second," right? Yeah. No. I'm sorry. Like, I love this. By the way, so we're seeing a lot of ones here. Oh, someone's being generous. See, Raquel's always a nice one here. So Glenna, 1. Wait, is it Raquel? Oh, what? Oh, I thought you.
Oh,
Okay.
only a half a point. Okay.
Okay, you see, you're smart. I read it 1 to 2. Maybe I should put my glasses on. I'm like, oh, Raquel's generous, maybe giving it a 2. No, she's saying 0.5. Gosh. Oh,
Oh
Rachel's
my
like
God,
flat
look
out
at,
0.
and so many people are here. Melissa Houston is here. Rachel, hello. It's all flying by as I'm seeing it.
I know. Oh,
Jeannie, I think I said hello, but I'll say hello again.
oh, Anne. Oh,
Hunch- So yeah, see I did think he was serious.
okay. Okay. I
And
mean,
that's why I don't like it.
and I think okay, let us and I just want to reemphasize, guys, like we are and I think we should disclaim this every episode is we this is meant to be constructive, and under no circumstances should anyone look for these individuals who have posted. Please do not
Sure.
go after them. This is not meant to be doxing or canceling anybody. It is simply just looking at some of these posts that got highlighted on a Reddit subreddit about how they I mean, LinkedIn lunatics is probably not the most flattering thing, right? But we're here to like let's break it down. Is it good, bad, ugly, or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So all right, I would have to say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna have to agree with everybody. Getting anything above 1 is generous. I mean, yeah, I mean giving
Exactly.
a 1 is yeah. So anyway, Timothy McBride right there, get her done. Don't gotta you know
And
what this reminds me of? Kids. It's like you're paying yourself like your kids to do a chore. Like, you have to treat yourself like a
yes.
child.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do kind of remember being paid to go like put the leaves in the bags years ago. And, it was a little bit of a bribe, but it was kind of our allowance. Like, okay, let's go bag more leaves. We'll get more money. So I want to say, so Charity's here. Hello. It's great to see you. I saw Holly Price's name fly by. Hello. If I've missed anyone, Stephen Eng, I think I said your name at the beginning. I just want to get in the hellos.
Yeah, no, go for it here. While you're doing your hellos, let me get us for the next one then.
Yes.
Okay. We liked this one.
Yes.
Would you like to read it?
Oh, I will do the honor. Thank you. So this is not allowed to work from home, so I don't. My job recently told me that even during the snowstorm we got earlier this week, I'm not allowed to work from home at all. Even though I work in IT and I do everything remotely, they want me in the office. So I deleted Teams and my email off my phone. I'm no longer available after hours. My boss tried to call me for something urgent last night and couldn't reach me. He asked why today, and I explained to him what I was told. I'm not allowed to work from home. So, what do you think?
Okay. This one, oh my goodness gracious. So never, ever, 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 ever would I have ever constructed this thing. I might have said it in my brain, but never, ever,
Yes.
ever would I've actually executed on this. The thing is this could be read as satire, or it could actually be someone literally did do this. And I'm inclined with the younger generations to put their boundaries up more to say, this is what you guys hired me for. This is what I'm going to paid to do, and this is what I'm giving you because this is what you're giving back to me. So I gotta say it. I wouldn't do it, but I do not disagree.
Yeah.
I do not
And
disagree.
and there are people on Reddit who agree and some disagree. I pulled out a few comments because they're interesting. They
Yes,
run the
please.
gamut. One person wrote, "It's funny that employees are expected to be unfailingly loyal and companies don't feel the need to reciprocate." So it's
Mhm.
definitely bringing out that kind of debate. There were quite a few comments there. Um, Someone wrote, "This does not seem like lunacy. Mildly adversarial, yes. Crazy, no." And then here's one that really just would be kind of introduce a serious conversation about this. This person was referring to they live in Australia, but this really applies to other countries as well. "We recently ensured our people have the right to disconnect. After work hours, we are not obliged to reply to work communications unless your role specifically states you're required to be contacted at any time." And that has been that kind of rule, usually edited a bit, has popped up in quite a few countries. So it really is interesting that people are not only trying to create their own boundaries, the law is creating the boundaries for them.
I love that. I do love that. I look, me I was a company person. I worked all hours of the time and
Yep,
day. Now, granted, I was in sales, so you kinda had to hustle if you wanna get things done, but
sure.
but if you work in IT, back in the day, you would have a pager on you because your assumption being
Yes.
24/7, right? But if they're telling you you can't work from home, I'm sorry, you negated my obligation to you then, right? Unless your job description explicitly says, right, you're 24/7. But again, IT, you don't you don't need to physically be there. I mean,
Yes.
unless you're literally like having to babysit the data center or something like that, you could literally do everything remotely.
Yeah.
So, I don't
And
know. Okay. Oh,
should we see what people are saying? Oh, there's some good advice from Charity
I
here.
was gonna say, okay, Charity, I'm gonna post your thing, but girl, cut your comments in half, like hit enter because it won't post everything, or if it does, it gets like way hella huge. But
Here
I
it
wanna
is.
share it because it's good.
Yes, be careful. Check your employment contract for specifics. Also, very ridiculous on the company's part. They can be responsible if someone has an accident. Let people work from home in bad weather. Absolutely. It's kind of like if, school gets closed because it's bad weather. I'm also thinking about in this case, that there were expectations on both sides. This person was like, "Fine, I'm not allowed to work from home," and they created their own rules of what that meant. And then the manager has another interpretation of what they meant by "you can't work from home," and neither one of them talked about it. So, and I'm pointing this out because I've had clients get in
Mm.
conflict over this kind of stuff where the ideas in your head are not being said out loud. So that's why there's a complete disconnect with these two people of what they're expecting because they haven't stated their expectations.
Okay, so you just brought something in my brain here, and then Charity, you both did. Who owns that phone? If it's a company phone, then you should not be deleting Teams and email because it's a company property.
Sure.
That's basically like a laptop. Now, you have the choice to respond on that phone or not. So, if it's your personal phone, then I think absolutely go ahead and remove the Teams and email because they're not paying for it, right? So,
Mhm.
but it does feel a bit hostile in this way, a little confrontation, adversarial. I think it was a comment that was given,
Yep.
right? Um, I do think though, uh, I mean, as a business owner, yeah, if my expectations of something are not written and clear, like I hold myself accountable for not making it clear. So
Yeah.
if this is the case, then as a manager, I probably would have gone to HR to say, can we talk about this in, how A, I need a Leslie in my life to like address it, but B, hey, can we revise our contracts to be clearer? What are the expectations? Because I think we get a lot
Exactly.
of guidance from that.
Because everyone, just even return to office or hybrid especially, or work from home. We need to, during COVID, when so many went to work from home and they'd never done it before, there were certain kind of things that were happening. There were no rules. Everyone just figured it out then. But what happened then is different than work from home now, and definitely return to office, and definitely hybrid. And every company probably interprets it different. So we've got to talk about it. It can't just be like, oh, okay, we want you to have a hybrid schedule. Well, what does that mean? We've got to negotiate what that means.
Right. I think we were taking a lot. I mean, again, the pandemic really took the world off its kilter. Like, I had a hard time understanding why people were so thrown off by it, but that's because I've been working remotely for 20 years, right? So I'm like, it's like another day in the neighborhood. But I think Sincera, I think this post is a perfect example of engagement baiting. I think this is a perfect example of good discord if you can do it politely with one another, right? Is I think this
Yep.
is a very debate worthy topic.
Yes.
So we've got uh, is it Jeannie or Jean? Organization
Jeannie.
communication. Is it Jeannie? Okay.
Jeannie.
Yeah,
Yes.
my mother-in-law is Jeannie, spelled same way as well. Probably no policy. Yep.
Yep. Yes, I think that's also the thing. The policy is no work from home, but not in detail. That's it.
Yeah.
And however that's defined, employees and employers are going to define it differently. And if they don't talk about it, they're going to end up with this, where you get a sarcastic or whatever word you want to call for this post, because they're letting out how they feel about it. They're really bothered and they're trying to draw a boundary that really wasn't drawn yet.
Yeah. Can I just defend myself real quick, Leslie? Excuse
Yeah.
me, Raquel. When I text you at 3 a.m., do not pretend you're not laughing. They are funny. They are muy amusante. Thank you. That is me. All right. Oh no. Oh, she did add it afterwards.
Does she get paid overtime for that? I'd like to know.
Well, there's okay, so we have had that conversation of separation between church and state, meaning work
Yes.
mode is work mode, friendly mode is friendly mode, and
Yes.
the two do not intertwine. Although I
Yeah.
will say, sometimes when work gets stressful, we will send memes to each other to bring it down, like this
Oh,
calm
I
the stress
love
down.
that.
So it's been very interesting. Like I don't know if you're doing it consciously, Raquel. I think she is because I get stressed. So um,
I love that. Now that is a good, that may be the tip of the day. Like, hey, if you are in this like stressful texting thing or conversation with someone, like just pull out like a good meme, like just to like get the laugh going. It just relieves the tension. I love it.
it's the equivalent of like how dogs they shake it off after they play whatever. Like
Oh,
okay, yeah, get me out of that zone. Like I think that's yeah,
yeah,
it's a great tool at least for me.
I love it. So this
Yeah,
is Anne made a great point. This raises an important discussion around expectations for on-call hours. And like I said, there are places now, if you get a call after hours, you actually get paid overtime for that. That they can only call you during the designated hours or the on-call hours. And then if it's beyond that, you get overtime and paid for it.
I'm loving that. I'm loving it. All right, so let's see. There's a lot of
More comments. Um, oh, Stephen Eng makes a great point. I personally wouldn't do this, but I'd find out how work from home is defined and whether there's any evidence of effort to communicate these expectations to employees. Absolutely. It's all, we need the communication.
yes. I mean, isn't that what life is all about, though? Right? Like it's shockingly enough, it's the answer to pretty much 99.9 things of everything in life, isn't it?
Yes. And especially the stuff that's in our head, no one hears it unless you say it out.
Yeah.
So if you need them to know, say it out loud.
Okay, so all right, so are we ready for the next one? And you know
I
what
am.
occurred to me from a production perspective? And guys, thank you. Please, please, please keep commenting and your input. I think I'm going to make a little whoosh transition for everyone. So let's do, okay, ready? Our next one is, I need some new sounds, don't I? Okay.
Love
Have
it.
fun, but don't be the fun. Okay, now everyone, we did get feedback. We understand wholeheartedly you cannot read this, but I wanted, in protection of this post, to put the whole thing in. So that's why it's like that. I guess I probably could have rewrote it, but anyway, do you want to read it, or
Sure. Or do you, whichever.
go for it, Leslie? You're a better reader
Okay.
than me.
Thank you. I learned she wasn't wearing any underwear because she was so drunk she fell over backwards in front of me. And I will interrupt for a second. Of course, that's a major hook there to get our attention. My wife, coworkers, other company leaders, we all saw it. It's forever burned into my memory. Not because I want to remember it, but because moments like that stick. And that was 11 years ago. Here's the problem. That's one of only a few things I recall about her. Her professional contributions, almost entirely overshadowed by that single moment. Fair or not, perception matters. People won't always remember what you said or even the results you delivered, but there's no question they'll never forget how you showed up or didn't. It's
Mm.
not just at holiday parties, it's how you carry yourself every day. Are you consistent, professional, accountable, or do you allow one thoughtless action to define how others see you from then on out? Here's the lesson I've learned. Don't let a single moment derail the reputation you've worked years to build or you're building. Be thoughtful about your actions in the moment, whether you're in or out of the workplace. Have fun, don't be the fun. Thea, what do you think?
Okay, so I understand the sentiment of what they're doing and saying. And if it did happen, it happened, right? And unfortunately, it's just what you are remembered by. It's kind of how nicknames get formed, right? Like, and I'll,
Yep.
granted, let's not put any nicknames to this poor individual that, flashed the entire company. Um, I get what they're saying. It's it's not a very supportive post. It's a bit condescending, right? And in a way, it is preachy, but is it bad advice? I
Mhm.
just think the delivery on this was, it's just
Mm.
it's just okay. I'm mixed on this one as well because I have given similar advice. Be, be the party, but don't be the party. You know what I'm saying? So I love this, have fun, but don't be
Yeah.
the fun. So I just think it's a little condescending though. I mean, it's great
Yeah.
advice because you don't want to put
Mm.
yourself to be fired, right? People take it too far at company parties all the time. But
Exactly.
I do agree, wear underwear, people. Like no one's got to see that. But
Exactly.
but why would
But
you want to re-shame someone 11 years later because you know they're still getting talked about? Like there's a
yes.
there's an infamous story, and I don't know the individual, but they got caught diddling themselves on a webcam back in the day when Zoom calls were like very
Yes.
early on, and we still talk about it. It's like 20 years later.
Yes.
So there, that's my answer. It's a non-answer answer.
Well, let me just tell you two of the comments that made me laugh again on Reddit. They were not on the post. These were to someone including this on LinkedIn Lunatics. So the first person said, how does this guy's wife feel about him thinking of another woman for a decade?
Decade.
Bizarre. Now, there was a word I left out because I'm not going to say it. Um, they were referring to the woman's female part. You fall over at the, and here's another one. You fall over at the company shindig and expose your gremlin one time, everyone loses their mind. So this guy's like, leave her alone. I have to say that my first experience going to a big holiday party of the company, I remember ahead of time my mother said, have one drink and all the rest get club soda with like a lemon in it, and no more. I'm like, "Oh, okay. All right." I kind of followed her advice. Well, I'm glad I followed most of her advice because that night at the party, a few of us were standing with one of the executives and he was telling us a story. He was clearly very drunk, but we didn't know how drunk until we were all talking for quite a while and he wanted to like lean on the table, but there
Oh.
was no table. And he like collapsed, fell down. It just became this whole kind of funny. Thank God he was okay. Um, but not only did he never live it down, him and his wife both worked at the company, and there had been a debate about which one of them should have to leave because they were reporting to each other. He ended up being forced to leave, all from that incident.
I mean,
Real.
it, alcohol is a hell of a drug. Like it really does make you do things that you wouldn't necessarily do. Um, I think someone had there's some good feedback here from Jeannie. Perception matters. Do we know she left the
Yes.
place after the incident? I mean, I mean, I don't. Oh man, it's again. I get it, but I don't know why it doesn't resonate positively. This doesn't resonate positively to me, and I'm trying to pinpoint the feeling I'm getting from it because it's not bad advice, but I'm not feeling. Oh, here's a
Yeah.
good question from Trang. Would that person write the same if the tables were turned around? If it was him that did it, would you share the story as if
Ah,
you were the one?
right. I mean, I think exactly. And also there is time, like, okay, it happened. You can judge, but does it have to live on for 11 years? He's keeping it living on, and I think that's why there were so many comments on Reddit about, like, "Why does this guy keep on thinking about that one incident?" She did have, like, accomplishments at work, and what are those? Keep those fresh in your mind, so I
Oh, I
there's a
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. Because he does indicate it, right? She did do
yes.
almost entirely overshadowed by that single moment from his perspective. So here's the other factor that we didn't think about. Maybe everyone did forget about it. He's the one that keeps bringing it up, maybe because he's upset. Ah, that's why it feels icky. Because what if everyone else moved on?
Yeah.
Um,
I think so.
mm,
Melissa brought up a good point. As someone who's been at a lot of corporate parties, she doesn't discount that this happened because these things happen. It can take over the whole perception of someone. And it's just like if anything happened to us in the office, whatever it was, it didn't have to be this with not having any underwear on. You know what? You gotta, like, make a lot of other things happen so people forget about it. Because it really does come down to how do people feel about you? That's
mm.
what they remember. So I think there's still a chance to recover from these kind of things, but you have to be intentional to recover. Give them much more to remember, and it doesn't have to be a joke or anything. Just make people feel good and they'll kind of forget it, or it'll become something to laugh at, like, you remember that first party you went to?
I mean, okay, here's the thing. I mean, it's a very intensely personal region of the body, right? I mean, it's something you don't necessarily want to advertise, but it's still human anatomy. It's still biology, human. So in a lot of ways, it's like I can see where this is a reflection on this particular individual, right? Like maybe they live a life where it's a little bit more sheltered than one others. Maybe there's like more people who are more like, who cares? I'm going commando. I don't give a crap, right? Like maybe like I think Holly had said maybe there's a reason. Maybe she needed to, you know, air it out. Who knows, right? And I think I highlighted this one, but Ryan, I'm right there with you. Maybe they could have used a better example, right?
Yes.
But could it be that because it's the shock value? I mean, he literally said the first line, she wasn't wearing underwear. Bam.
Yes.
That's big.
And
Like Sincera said earlier, if that's an engagement bait, I don't like this is it.
yes, exactly. And we know that. And so it's interesting on LinkedIn where sometimes people get annoyed at those hooks, especially if it has nothing to do with the rest of the post. In this case, hooking you in, and then you're getting the story. about the underwear. So we have to be really thoughtful about what kind of hook we want to use and if it's going to bother people.
Yeah.
You want that he's trying to give a good message at the end, but
And
how
yeah.
he got there might be a little.
Woohoo. I mean, Yolanda, I'm right there with you, girl. Sometimes being direct does hurt. It does hurt. Like it, uh, yeah, man. Okay, so here's Holly. He's saying, "Hey, look, if a company's offering alcohol, all bets are off." I can tell you, I've been to enough company parties, sales kickoffs in Vegas, where the executives that you see in the boardroom, that you're taking to your client meetings, is not the person that's sitting next to you at the club. Just saying,
Yeah.
like, and,
Yes.
uh, and good, bad, ugly, and different. We're all humans, so if that's a way to let off steam and whatnot, as humans, we got to respect. And again, like boundary it, you
Yes.
know?
Really.
Yeah. Um,
Have a
yes.
plan. So for all of us, if you're going to a company holiday party or any kind of company party and there is alcohol and you want to have a drink, just have a plan ahead of time. Just know how you're behaving at the party. People are judging. That's a natural thing that happens. So you just
Mm,
want to, it doesn't mean you can't have a few drinks.
mm-mm.
Just think about how people might perceive that.
Just think about how you remember people is how people remember you. I think, Ryan, you're right. It is a little shamey. I think that's another reason why I feel a little dirty. It feels a
Yeah.
little shamey. Oh, that's a good point. Um, 11 years rent free in his brain, right?
Yes.
Um,
I mean, I have to read that again. That's what so many of the comments were, where they were really bothered. Like, so how does his wife feel that he's still thinking about this incident of when he saw her without the underwear?
yeah. Yeah. So we got a lot of folks who are agreeing with Ryan here. It does, um, yeah, a little shamey here. Let's
I like
see.
that everyone's trying to see, like, oh, could there be a reason she didn't wear underwear?
I mean,
It's a perfect example of we should just never assume. Let's ask. We
yes.
can't in this case. But when you're like in a miscommunication with someone at work or via a post, just ask versus assuming what they meant.
So here's an interesting thing, Jeannie. You're right, and I wonder if he directly harassed her after this incident. So we don't know. We won't know based on this. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
or
a
not,
good question.
either harassed or treated her poorly. As in, it doesn't matter whatever her contributions are. Does he ever give her the props of like good work? Because he can't get that out of his head.
Yeah, exactly. But I like your advice, like, if it's a company party, have fun at the party, but don't be the party.
And trust me, I speak from experience, my friend.
And we
Uh,
learn those kind of things after we've maybe, had an error in our behaviors.
yeah.
That's okay too, because it sticks with us.
It does. It does. Okay, so here, okay, so the influencer connection corner. Conversation about undergarments really don't belong there. Look, um, okay, because I could argue, and could be something that maybe so I'm sure someone has posted at some point in time, is like, should bra straps be seen at the workplace?
Ooh,
You
we
know,
could
that's
take a
another
vote
topic.
on that one. That could be a huge debate.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, oh, Anne's got a food for thought for us here. Um,
Expose yourself accidentally. Yes. Great. You know what? I love that everyone's avoiding assumptions, that we're just asking questions and trying to figure out, like, what could it have been, which this guy never really gave us that opportunity. And that's the issue with LinkedIn and posting.
and in
We get
general,
one piece of a story.
and one side of a story.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But
I don't
that's what's interesting. Do you remember a couple of years ago, I saw many more people kind of doing like co-posting, two people together would post something. we don't see that very often. That would be interesting to get both sides of a story.
That would be very
So
interesting. The problem is the algorithm might favor one or the other. So one person's,
true.
like your following is way more active than mine because I'm not on LinkedIn anywhere near as much as I used to. So if you and I did a collaboration, which would be funny, we should do it. Or anybody else that wants to collaborate with us, we can just tell us down below, give us hearts and applauses or whatever, or give us the light bulb. Okay, click on that light bulb thingy and then say me please or whatever, and then because I'm curious about that because
Yeah.
and then you'd have to tag each other's comments. But the thing is, I think behavior on LinkedIn is inherently lazy. Like, so I made a post
Yes.
promoting today's show, and I had two retrievers like talking about the thingy because if I had just done a picture of our episode, no one's going to pay attention. They're going to look at the dog. I don't
You're
even know if
right.
anyone read it. I don't even know if anyone read the actual post. Like,
You're
but
right.
people like retriever pictures.
Yes. Oh, well, then that's we will have to get into that maybe in a future episode that the whole it's the same thing. If the hook doesn't match the post, if the photo doesn't match the post, is that okay? And sometimes it angers people because I've seen those kind of comments going down the rabbit
Mm.
hole.
Um, So I moved off the image because I felt like it'd be cleaner to have us talking. So guys, we're still talking about the topic a little bit because Dr. Glenna, thank you so much. Women have interstitial cystitis are encouraged to never wear pants or underwear. The human body, can
Very
I just isn't that crazy
well.
what we
Thank
can
you for sharing that.
that's good
That's
to
very
know.
interesting.
Oh,
Yes, and that's why, like, anyone who walks in the office and is maybe wearing something that's different than you expect or says something different than you expect. I just love that today everyone's just trying to figure out, like, there's always could be a reason. Don't judge it as like you can't do that. Find out, like, hey, I'm just wondering, like, what's going on? What's happening?
yeah. And
We could
Ari,
learn
hello,
so much
beautiful.
more. Who
Oh my gosh. Yes.
made him the that's very true. Why is he the undergarment police?
I mean,
So
so
much to
Stephen,
think about.
I mean, gosh, again, how you behave and I mean, it's true. Again, I don't think the message is wrong as what he's trying to achieve. I think his example and the tone of it was probably where people are really kind of going, "Ah,
Yes.
ah."
Yes.
And of course,
And
Robert
he
is,
could have still had other hooks, like, "Hey, do you remember that last holiday party you went to?" And get us to come and read.
or hey, how about just keep it back to the reader and say, hey, do you remember that person at the holiday party? And then that way you're not giving a specific example and shaming someone who may have
Yep.
been. Yeah, what if they just tripped and fell? I think someone made a comment, tripped and fell and they were sober, right? Like, but there's gonna be
Yeah.
always an assumption, right? Or as like, as Dr. Is it Dr. Jeannie, I think, Dr. Glenna, maybe they have a health condition. Like, yeah, legit peeps. Like, I like
I
this.
like
I
I
like
like
what
what Robert Berry is telling. Just keep it classy. That's a good rule to follow.
oh, girl, are you serious? It's a rare disease with high suicide rate or high S rates. We can't say that on YouTube, sorry. Imagine. Oh my god. 24 that's so much pain.
Wow. That we never you only see what you see or what you hear or what someone writes. You really don't know what's going on inside. Just always assume positive intent. I would end with that. That's
Yeah,
my tip. Like, assume positive before you know anything else. Like, don't think of it as negative.
exactly. Alright,
Wow.
so,
Thank you. Oh my god, this has been
wait,
amazing. Thank you.
hold wait, sorry,
Do we have a
sorry.
few more?
I'm trying to catch up on the comments, I'm, like, really behind. So, yeah, you guys are right, the message at the end is super important, true, just overshadowed by his hook. You're right. I think
Yes.
that's
Great point, Rachel.
yeah. Okay, so,
Oh,
guys, we're at
the
the end. We went
comments are on
long.
fire. Thank you.
I appreciate you so much. I mean, okay, so everyone do us a favor, give us feedback because this is episode 2. We're still working out our flow and kinks but let us know, do you guys like this concept? Do you like the way we're presenting it? please give us feedback and advisement. If there are posts that you see on LinkedIn, they're like, guys, you need to talk about this. Please share with us. You hit us up on our DMs.
Please.
I mean, gosh. Oh, and to clarify, LinkedIn Lunatic Strike Back is not just me and Leslie being on this show, because the next episode is I won't be here. I'm going to be
We
whooping
have
it
a
up in.
surprise guest.
We're going to have a surprise guest because I'm going to be whooping up in Viva Las Vegas, Lost Wages. So I will be unavailable for it. But
and people should try to guess who it is. I could say that person has been around today. So
yes, they were in the chat.
Definitely there.
And
So
if you want to join us as co-host and participate, also DM us and let us know. And let's see if we can make it happen, because I think this is a participatory thing.
Absolutely. This is fun. And it really helps to hear what everyone else is thinking, what you're thinking, Sia, what I'm thinking. It really makes you think. And I think it'll make it makes it all better for us on LinkedIn to really get how other people are hearing or reading what we write.
Exactly. And by the way, if you think we're being too nice or too soft or too hard, we want that feedback as well, because we do want to make it balanced and also relevant. And yeah, sometimes some posts need to be called out. Come on, Leslie. Some of them do.
Definitely I definitely have defended some of the LinkedIn lunatics, but not all deserve the defense. So that's where we'll leave it.
So let's go back to our little comfort zone. So if I can give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode is Tausi Brands. If you guys are unfamiliar what Tausi is, it is a pillowcase that is shaped to support either your lumbar or your neck support, and it can be portable and taken everywhere. So shout out Jana Shokrion and the founder of Tausi, and here we go. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time around.
Falling asleep with your neck in the wrong position can be a real pain in the neck. Literally. People of all ages are falling for Tausi. Tausi gives you the comfort you've always dreamed of. Go to TausiBrands.com and get your comfort on.